Hello people, this is Reader Railways here, and this is my 250 subscriber special video. Doing this one in Train Sim. This is a first for me, and hopefully it's not going to be the last. So you join me here at Daventry International Rail Freight Terminal. I'm just outside the crew building here, and it is approximately 6 AM in the morning, and today we're going to be driving train 4S43, which is otherwise known as the Tesco Express, from here as far as Stafford. So let's go find our train. So cross these lines here, nothing coming along them, and nothing coming along these two either. So if we just wander down here, the train to the right here is going to be our train for this journey. I'm just going to wander up and down just to make sure that the train is complete and ready for departure. So our trailing load today is going to be 36 container wagons, 26 of which have containers on them. Don't actually quite know what the tonnage would be for this, but I know this train is allowed a maximum of 1,600 tonnes. As you can see, we've got a mix of empty wagons, the Climate Rail, which is the Stobart, in reality it's Stobart Rail, and some DRS containers as well. But I don't actually think there is such a thing as a DRS container, but for the purpose of the game, there is one. Let's go around this signal. Right, so this is the back of our train. Our tail lamp is already on. I think that would be something that the shunter would do when they're preparing the train. So now we're going to wander up this side, we'll go to the locos and we'll go and get set up. I'm going to apologise for the background noise now, fortunately. Everyone's at home, and well, you're probably going to hear a lot of things in the background. But unfortunately, I can't help it because, like I say, everyone else is at home, and they're going about their business as well. So I just have to try and ignore any background noise that you hear. You can see we're nearly at the front of the train now. Here are our locomotives. So today on the train we have leading is 66424 and the second locos is 66434. So we're going to go jump into the cab of 66424 and we'll get everything set up ready for departure. Just sit down. Welcome to the cab of 66424. So, let's get this train set up. So, the first thing I'm going to do is do my lights. So we're going to set them to daytime. There we go, daytime. And I'm also going to turn on my instrument lights. Cab lights are already off and they don't need to be on. We're going to open the window if I can find the button to. There we go. Open the window on the other side as well, just because why not? There we go. Right, so I've turned the lights on. Now I need to just quickly hop out and just check that the lights have actually come on. And we can quickly do that now. Right through the door, down to the track level. And there we go, we've got our daytime headlight and the 3 markers. Also, there is actually a proving lamp proving thing here, and we can use that as well. Right, so this train is due for departure at 06:16. As you can see, we already do have the signal to depart away. So we'll get the train set up and then we'll get moving. So, next thing I need to do is start the engines. And they've now settled down. Right, next thing I'm going to do is put the train into gear. So we're going to put it into forward gear and then reset the AWS self-test sequence. And I'm just going to pull it back to neutral just until we're ready to go. Next thing I'm going to do is pull the brakes back to, we're going to go to about the first notch on the brakes. Still plenty enough to keep the train holding still. Right, I think that is about it. There's no GSMR on here is not actually simulated properly, so we can't do anything with that. So I think we are ready to go. I certainly can't think of anything else I need to be doing. So we've got the signal, tail lamps are all in place, brakes are ready, engines running, parking brakes are off, brakes are in goods mode. So I think that is it. So let's get underway with train 4S43. Just going to do the look backs. So we'll clear down the left hand side of the train and the right. So let's go. So forward gear, brakes off completely. Anyone in the yard knows we're moving, and we've got up to 25% power just to get the train rolling. So as we start away from road number 3 at the reception sidings here at Daventry, the speed limit is 15 miles per hour. I'm going to assume now that the back of the train is now moving, so I'm now going to start increasing speed slightly. You can see ahead we do have a green signal, so we are cleared out onto the main line. Let's go up to 50% power just to get the train, to get the momentum moving a bit more. So our destination for today is, like I say, Stafford. In reality, this train would run all the way to Crewe before it had a crew change, but crew changing crew, yeah. But unfortunately, the route is not actually simulated as far as Crewe, so we have to make do with just the run to Stafford to start with today. I'm just going to power down just a bit because we're coming up towards 15 miles an hour. Still a little way to go yet. We now, like I say, we have a green light out onto the main line, and the speed limit is now about to go up to 25 miles per hour when the rear of the train clears that post. And also next to that post was another sign which states that AWS is now in operation, because obviously there's no AWS inside Daventry Yard. I'm going to leave the HUD up for this journey because I'm not really great at watching the signal. Well, I know with the signalling and stuff, it's speed limits that I struggle with a little bit more. The speed on this crossover is also 25, so that does not affect us. So you can see we are now coming up to 15 miles per hour. Just going to move the mouse out of the way because that's going to bug me. Also, I'm going to press Shift and Z just so I can see what the frame rate is. And in doing so, I've just shut down the engines. Well done, me. Oh well, we can't accelerate. We can't accelerate for a little while yet. Okay, they just come back online by themselves. Right, let's try that again. So Shift Z. Go drop in. Okay, that was not a good idea. So you can tell I'm not good at driving. So the speed limit, we are now cleared to go up to 75 miles per hour as we come to a complete and utter stop. Because I was wondering whether we should have got the AWS self-test to go again once we came out of gear. Now it's not actually letting me release the brake at the moment, so let's take it out of gear, put it back into gear. And it's still not letting me release the brakes. There we go. Now the brakes are coming off. So train brakes are off, loco brakes are now fully released, and let's go again. As I said, the speed limit for us is now up to 25 miles per hour. Although we aren't going to reach 25 before our speed limit will increase to 75 miles per hour. And just also of note, 75 miles per hour is our maximum speed that this train can run at today. So I guess you've already worked out that I am not a great driver, and this is more something I do for fun. I sometimes do mess about a bit as well, but I do the occasional serious drive like this one. Now into full power. This Class 66 has a set of 8 power notches. Okay. Just going to back off, but the speed limit then went up. So we're now cleared up to 75 miles per hour. As I was saying, the Class 66 has 8 notches of power, so starting with idle and then powers 1 through 8. There we go, now we've got clear signals. I was going to say that, as I'm not a great driver, this is by no way going to be a perfect run, as it's already proved by bringing the train to a stop before we'd even cleared Daventry. You see, we're now coming through a neutral section in the overhead wires, but as we're a diesel train, that does not affect us in the slightest. However, the train nowadays, this train is actually hauled by Class 88 locomotives. I think it's usually only single-headed, apart from in the Leaf Fall season when they do double-head, just so they can gain better traction. So in reality, the train would have to shut off as they go through the neutral sections. But as we're running this back when they used Class 66s, we don't need to worry about it. You can see there we had a Morpeth board warning for a upcoming 50 mile per hour speed restriction, and that is just as we come to Hilmerton Junction, which is where we go over a flyover. So I think this is the down Northampton at the moment, which once we get through Rugby Station will become the down Slow. I'm going to hit the brake slightly just for this upcoming 50. So we go over the top whilst the up fast goes through the bottom. Basically, just because south of Rugby, as you line heats heading south from here, split, so the slow lines go towards Northampton, and the fast lines skip Northampton and head on to probably Milton Keynes, I think it is. Also of note, we do have an upcoming 40 mph speed restriction just as we go up onto the flyover, and that comes into effect at the next signal. So I think as we enter onto the down Northampton and marker on the track, I'm just going to hit the brakes very lightly. So now. And this is now a climbing 1 in 100 gradient. As you can see, we have a route indicator 4 feather, indicating that we are turning right to go through Rugby Station on platform, I want to say it's platform 4. Also, you can just see ahead as we swing round to the right here that our next signal is a double yellow. And actually, I was completely wrong, it is platform 2 that we go through at Rugby. So the speed limit shortly as we enter Rugby platforms goes up to 75, but with that yellow signal we just passed, I'm not going to bother accelerating, for obvious reasons. We pass through Stafford Station here, we have 51 miles to go. Sorry, as we pass through Rugby Station, we have 51 miles to go to Stafford. So the line on the left now is the Down Main. The line to the left of that, I would assume it would be called Down Relief, or maybe the Down Birmingham. You see that signal did just jump up to double yellow, so I am going to increase the power a bit, because the train ahead of us is moving. So being very careful. There you go. So be very careful because the rear of the train wasn't quite clear of the speed of the 40 mph speed restriction. So I'm going to accelerate it probably up to about 50 miles an hour. I don't want to go any faster than that, just because if we're running under yellows at the moment, I need to be able to stop. Next signal has just jumped up to double yellow. So if we pass a single yellow signal, I need to then immediately idle the power and be ready to brake for what could be an upcoming potential red signal. So we go under here at Rugby North Junction. The line that goes over the top is the line that goes towards Birmingham. We have actually climbed up to 55 miles per hour, which is fine, but still. Thinking about the signalling block section is just a little bit short here, so I'm just going to idle the power just until I can see that we have a double yellow at least. Certainly yellow, which is a good start. And yeah, that signal is displaying a double yellow aspect, so we'll just go close along at 55 roughly for now, and then we'll accelerate as the signalling allows. Points we're crossing here is at Newbold Junction. The speed limit has now gone up to 100 miles per hour, although as previously said, this train is only limited to 75, so we're only going to do 75. Another signal now coming up. and it is just no, it's now gone green. So we're going to accelerate up towards 60, but because we're still getting we're not actually receiving a full green aspect. We can't. It's not green as we approach it, and only clears up just as we get to the signal. I'm just going to increase the speed to approximately 60 miles an hour, just until we start getting green or clear AWS indications as well. And once we get that, that will go up to 75. Points we just crossed there look to be either Newbold Junction or High Oaks Junction. So you can see ahead that the signal ahead has just cleared up to a green, so I'm going to up to full power now. I believe the line we are running now along is the down slow line. Seems a bit weird because normally you would consider, if you look at the 4-track layout that we're in at the moment, you would consider this to be the down fast and the line to the left being the down slow. But as you saw at Rugby, because the down slow comes from Northampton and then goes to platform 2 at Rugby, whilst the down fast remains between platforms 1 and 2. It's easier just to have the fast line on the outside at this point, because shortly where the 75 limit is that's now coming up on the HUD, it then goes down to double track, to 1 line going north and 2 lines going south. So it doesn't really matter that we're running the down slow in what would be the down fast position at the moment, but just a little extra detail if you just wanted to know that. We got an AWS warning for an upcoming 75 mile. I managed to reduce the power at the same time there. Yeah, it was an upcoming warning for a 75 mile an hour speed restriction as we cross Brinklow Junction, which is where the 2 down lines converge.